By the title of the video, you already know. I'm ranking all the ZZZ characters, at least currently in 3.1, plus the drip marketing, and just to ask the question, which one's a really good sleepover buddy? Basically. So yeah, we have these tiers here, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Sleepover buddy, the best one, you got a pretty good time with them and you'll love to invite them if they have time, of course, as much as possible. You just cannot get enough of them. I would definitely think about it is about the same. It's just that they have some quirks that you don't exactly gel with or could just get in the way just a tiny bit. So you have to kind of think about it. If we can get another, is basically characters that you have a good time. You just really need somebody else to also be there, just so they can just balance the type of vibe. Speaking of which, if we vibing means if you feel like maybe once in a blue moon that maybe you would like to invite them, they're kind of like hard to actually like be a good buddy or sleepover, but you want to give them a chance and actually get prepared to actually get them comfortable, of course, or prepare yourself. I don't know what you're gonna do about that, of course. One time, obviously, you just want to try it out. They could cause a lot of problems that you might only want to do the one time only and never again. Need I say more about that? It's just going to be a failure of a sleepover. That's basically kind of about it. So yeah, without further ado, let's just start, shall we? Start with Soldier 11. Soldier 11, or just going through simple stuff in her personality, for the most part, she's pretty normal, super well organized too. In terms of food, she likes super spicy things. Unfortunately, I think we might have a slight problem, but if we maybe have some fun, maybe just like some activities, going through a schedule, of course, and I think we actually be a pretty good place, right? I do believe that maybe it's a if we vibing thing though, because for me personally, I do love a schedule, pretty much so. I do think that maybe it'll be some activities that she would like to do, but maybe I enjoyed it a bit too much, and maybe we'll be off the schedule or something like that. But it might be more so like depends if who's hosting, because if she's hosting then I don't mind, but if I'm hosting the sleepover and then she has a schedule that she wants to do, then I have to kind of prepare myself for something like that. Would be nice if she actually maybe contact earlier. I do believe that it would just be a vibe thing, because I think it's also just the food. If she wants spicy food, I might actually bring her own, but I'm gonna be honest, I cannot handle spicy food, especially and not even counting like her level of spiciness, which to be honest, we all know she has a problem actually like feeling heat. So yeah, I think it's just more so if we vibing. Okay, Nekomata on the list next. I think it might actually be the one time. It will be like once maybe a month or something, or maybe like could be never again, because I feel like Nekomata would be fun, kind of, but there's also just the risk that she might just steal something. It's not technically her fault, it is of course a habit, but kind of have to be careful. She could just steal a lot of stuff, honestly. Ben Bigger, yeah, we're just skipping through. Okay, Ben Bigger, yeah, I'll definitely think about it actually. He's also, while he's well organized, he's also like pretty much just a chill guy as well. I do, but yeah, chill guy, and I think he's gonna be pretty fun to be with as well, because I feel like he would actually like to do anything that you want to do, at least in terms of any activities, like sleepover activities. Of course, if he's actually hosting, it actually might be a bit more, well organized and a bit more straightforward, of course. So yeah, but I think he's just his personality alone. He's just a pretty chill guy, despite his stature. You know, Corin, I think is also. I mean, she could be a definitely think about it because of her own personality, and of course she's a maid. So for the most part, it may be better if we were hosting not exactly her for sleepover. But the problem is that I feel like she might be fit into if we get another. And I think it's just more of Corin's sake, so that she doesn't feel too awkward. And well, I think for the most part, it's just that she does get a little frantic sometimes, pretty shy too, and like, very nervous. I feel like if we can get another person with her, maybe like Rena or Lycon with us, so like a 3-person or maybe even a 4-person like sleepover just to even things out and just to like just so make it there's not so much tense city in the air. So yeah, I'm sorry if my voice is actually like pretty like stuttery, I guess. Technically speaking, it's just kind of hot and it's pretty late in the day for me to record. So like, yeah, I don't know if it was a good day. I don't know if it was like a good time to record actually. God. Okay, Lucy. Hmm. I think it's also if we get another, and I think the only reason why is that not to hate any Lucy fans, I do think that maybe she's pretty bossy in terms of stuff. It's more so I get the feeling that maybe she'll like try to order at least me or some other members in the sleepover just to what to do next in a way. But I feel like if the activities are interesting enough, she would actually like listen and maybe follow, possibly. It's pretty hard to actually tell. I do think we might have a good time, but I feel like we need another person with us, honestly. Now for Piper, yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory, honestly. For sleepover, I think the main thing that she would like to do is sleep. But in terms of activities, I mean, it's pretty chill, like real chill. Just vibing, all that stuff. Maybe talk about some like mechanics and stuff like that, or maybe just some, what's going on with your day and stuff like that. It's kind of just a normal, chill talk session. I think the only reason why I put her down here and not the best sleepover buddy, is I think she would actually sleep a bit too early and we have to call it a night like pretty early. Technically, I think it would be better if we can get another person. Therefore, maybe I won't get so bored or, maybe just bored, honestly, if she just kind of do like that. But yeah, I do think that if it's just for the most part, I mean, to be honest, I would like to sleep early. Like, come on, I'm recording this late at night. I need to sleep. Okay. So Kako. I think she'll also be fun. I just think that maybe we need somebody to look after her eating habits just to make sure there's enough food for everybody. I think that's the only reason why I put her if we can get another. Other than that, I think she would actually still be pretty fine, but I think we just need to get another. She is a bit... she doesn't know much about human culture. That much, so... I don't know. I feel like this is a good place for her. I feel like maybe Yaniki, if she's with her, then I think that'd be the best, honestly. Okay, Ellen. You think Ellen would actually be like maybe up here, possibly, but for me personally, I think it's just if we're vibing. I like Ellen and all, but her personality is a little bit of a downer. It's not exactly her fault. And also, I feel like she would be sleeping early as well. I feel like in terms of activities, we could just do the same thing. I just think that it might be much more harder to actually talk to her rather than anything, given to her personality being slightly distant and low energy. But that's just how she is, and it's mostly just due to being a shark siren. Hmm. Okay, so next is Zhu Yuan. And I think it's that I definitely think about it as well. Now, to be honest, I think now in terms of the video, I'm just gonna say I'm technically just putting these characters randomly. I think at the end of the video, I will put them into actual like maybe tiers as to like left is better and right is quote unquote the worst. But yeah, for right now it's just kind of random. But for Zhu Yuan, I do think that maybe I definitely think about it, and it's more so just the fact that what if she's also on night duty? I feel like the sleepover activities might actually end the moment that she is had to be called for work or emergency. Honestly, you never know. But yeah, I think she'll be maybe the best sleepover buddy possibly. But I think it's just her work that might actually get in the way. I don't fault for her though. But she does need to have some more time to relax, honestly. Coletta? I think I'll also say definitely think about it. The only reason is just maybe her fiery nature, honestly. She needs to maybe tone it down just a tiny bit. But otherwise, I think we might have a good amount of fun with her as well. Let's see here. I think that's pretty simple. That's kind of about it. I think for Grace, it's more so just if we can get another, and it might most likely be either Ben or Boletta. Honestly, if going through a pair, right? Because I think Grace, while she would be pretty fun, she has that older sister type of vibe for her. I do think that if any electronics were involved, maybe she would like to actually, finagle with a little bit of that, which I do think maybe we need somebody to actually calm her down. At least somebody who's like at least close to her. Yeah. We'll just hope she doesn't find a vacuum, that's all. I think Lycon might actually be the best sleepover buddy. He has the charisma. I'm just kidding. I mean he does, but that's not exactly the main point here. He has a pretty good personality. His behavior is really well. He's also a butler, so he does some good service. He's pretty much a nice person to talk to as well. I do think that we might actually have a pretty good time together. It's also pretty calm as well. But for like any like special activities, I think like he will, join in here and there. I don't think there's any wrongs with him. I think he'll just be having a good time. I think the only problem really would technically be the person, which would be me. I think the problem would actually be maybe me, because I don't think I think I can really match his energy, or I don't know if I actually need to. Not to mention that, well, I like to keep stuff neat, but I don't think I am neat as he is. For the most part, he is perfect on paper. I guess it's technically just on me if we really gotta think about it. If I really gotta think about it. I don't know. Okay, Rena. Listen, she would be definitely in the best sleepover buddy with Lycon. It's just that her cooking. So definitely just at least another person with us. Which would be like, okay, Ambi. I think with everything been said in her trust event specifically, I think she would actually be the best sleepover buddy. She's technically just the same as like Soldier 11, just not as, organized, crazy, or, schedule crazy as well. I think she's mostly normal. Yes, her tone is about the same as Soldier 11, which is a little monotone in a way, but I do think that she actually would give us a good time if we got a sleepover watching a movie and stuff. Pretty normal. Also sharing burgers. I like a good burger. Nicole, huh? Now, Nicole's a hard one. Technically, you could say it about the same as Nekomata. I do think she, for me, maybe I'll definitely think about it. I think overall, maybe if we're vibing, honestly. There's nothing exactly wrong with her personality-wise. I just think that maybe at some point she might actually like try to steal something or like squander me with more money after the fact, possibly. I get that feeling. So maybe not the best. I do think that she will be a pretty good addition to a sleepover, but I feel even if I put her, if we can get another, I feel like she would get either Ambi or Billy, and then she would do something in the background. Not so sure, but I don't know. I don't exactly trust her just to be alone with her in a sleepover. That's the one thing. But it's mostly just a vibing thing. Because I feel like she will try to get my money somehow. I don't know. But speaking of maybe the last person of the cunning hairs, yeah, it is actually the last person of the cunning hairs. Billy. Come on, it's Billy. We all know Billy is a good guy. He's technically has the same qualities as Ambi. He is a bit more energetic. Maybe a bit much sometimes, but if we're talking about the Starlight Knights, I vibe with it. I like the Sentai, Super Sentai stuff, Power Rangers, all that, related stuff. I do think that maybe talking about music taste actually be pretty good too. So yeah, I think Billy is just that guy. He's just so much of a bro. Speaking of which, Anton. I think Anton would technically be like Billy, but I think for his energy is a bit much like Coletta, but more so of too much. I don't want to be too mean. He might be just be a bit loud, honestly, and could be collateral destruction just because he's too enthusiastic. I love your energy, Anton, but yeah, I think I'll definitely think about it and maybe just get the room ready, possibly, just in case. Maybe find some activities that maybe fit both of our energy levels. I don't know. Jane. Okay, I like Jane, but she does make me a little bit uncomfortable. Have you seen the stuff that she does? I'm just kidding. But either way, I think it's more so like if we can get another person just to keep her in check. Of course, if it's Seth, I mean, I think if Seth was supposed to be a bit better, but then again, I don't know how Seth would feel. But then again, I would actually like to see the interaction between Jane and Seth, honestly. I wouldn't mind watching in the corner, although I think I would try to break it up if Seth feels a little uncomfortable, honestly. Speaking of Seth, since he's actually next, I think I'll definitely think about it. I don't know much, and I don't think we don't know much about Seth all that much, but he's just basically a pretty good guy all around. He has the perfect qualities of being a good friend. I'll definitely think about it. Could just be the only reason why he's actually in that tier of I'll definitely think about it is more so maybe he's also busy if he's still on duty, if he takes the night shift or something like that. I'm not so sure. And there's also the thing about family. So iffy. And then there's Jane. That also depends if Jane is actually bothering him or not. It's kind of weird. Shinji. Hope I said her name right. I always keep mispronouncing her name. Shinji. I think she will also be just the perfect sleepover buddy. Unlike, she has the same type of vibe as Piper. It's just that the only one thing is that, she won't sleep too early. that does also depends if she has her batteries charged or not. So that's all I could say about that. I think she's pretty much perfect. Caesar. Okay, Caesar is actually a pretty hard one. I mean, she could be, I'll definitely think about it, or maybe best sleepover buddy. I think I'll put her as best sleepover buddy. The reason why is that her personality, she's energetic, but she can actually be, but her energy can actually be low to a point of being, just vibing as well. I do think she has that capability, hopefully. Hopefully I'm right about that. But the thing is that the stuff to talk about, I don't mind actually talking about any of the, like, her romance novels, honestly. Like any of the shoujo stuff. Not shonen, the shoujo stuff. I actually do have a soft spot for that too. And I think it would be pretty nice talking about it with her. Just hope it doesn't get too embarrassing to a point. Because technically speaking, in terms of like just low energy type of stuff, like just discussing like maybe romance, I think both me and Caesar will actually get pretty anxious a tiny bit, maybe just embarrassed as well. I don't want to do that, so maybe that'll just be a one thing, but if she wants to change the subject, I would not mind. And we can just do something else that maybe she actually likes. I think that's kind of about it. I was only the reason why I'll put like I'll definitely think about it is the really just the reason of kind of like that. But also she could be a bit rough around the edges. It might be rough, maybe accidental, most likely. Nothing like that, you guys. It's more so just like rough if we're doing like just like normal sleepover activities, of course. That also depends if you just want to like. Actually, I don't think anybody reads in the sleepover, right? I need to think about that too. Okay, Bernice. Okay, I would have put her in. I'll definitely think about it, but I don't I like Bernice. I just don't like drinking alcohol. Knowing her, she would bring a lot of nitro fuel, and she has her flamethrowers mostly at all times. So I would rather maybe have somebody with her. Maybe Lucy for the most part. She would definitely be Lucy for the most part if she's there. Yeah. Yanagi. I think Yanagi, I'll definitely think about it. I think she won't be so, strict in terms of maybe wanting to go through a schedule of stuff. I think she would like to do some stuff here and there, just like what we would be planning for. I think the only reason why I'll think about it is that maybe she's also just busy. Just like Yuen. So, there's that. Listen, need I say more for Lighter? I feel like Lighter is just a slightly down version of Billy, but still good enough to be best buddy, sleepover buddy, because he's kind of there and he would actually like to engage in any regard. I think the only downside would technically be that he's slightly a pushover when it comes to like wanting to do anything for himself. I think he'll just mostly force it upon me to choose everything we're doing. And when I would ask him, he will be like, you could like, it's up to you. You could choose the activity. Like, are you sure? Like, yeah, I'm sure. Like, okay. I do want him to have a say in something too, but if he's gotta be like that, I mean, that'll be fine. Still, like, it's best sleepover buddy material, but I think it'll be more fair if he actually has to say something, Okay, Miyabi. I think Miyabi would be up there too, but I think it's just, I'll definitely think about it. And the reason why is like kind of obvious. It's more so that maybe she'll turn every activity to be some sort of training exercise, and that would technically might get a slightly bit annoying. But I think just being around her would actually be pretty nice though. Then again, there is Kalis. We don't know if that sword would ever act up, so gotta think about that too. But I think that's why I put it in the I'll definitely think about it. She also could just be busy. You gotta get to notice that people with jobs are just, but maybe they're busy. And that's just because, well, currently right now I'm jobless. Well, not for long though. I am getting a job soon, so I'll let you guys know about that maybe in the community tab once I actually get hired. Getting a job is hard these days now. And that's not a joke, that's actually a fact. Haramasu. I'm gonna be honest, like I only put him there like for 2 reasons. One, I mean, like Piper, he'll sleep early. He has the personality to be a pretty good buddy, but he is sick. I do think that Astra does have the best sleepover buddy material, honestly. She likes to do a lot of stuff, and she's willing to do it, and she has a pretty good positive energy to her. But I think I'll put her more so, and I'll definitely think about it for the only fact that she's famous, and we don't know if the paparazzi or any stalkers would follow her somehow. Yeah. And I think that's also the same for Evelyn, but for mostly I think Evelyn would be if we can get another and it's heavily on her side. I feel like if I ask her, it's mostly like, can we bring Astra too? And that's gonna be about it. So that's 2 birds with 1 stone there. I'll just leave ZZero Ambi just here since we already have Ambi on top, but it'll be about the same space anyway. Pokra. I think so far, like if we vibing, technically similar to Nicole, but at the very least, she would actually be pretty much straightforward and don't go do something like that. Of course, it's more so if you're vibing, she doesn't exactly like company, so it would literally just be if we vibing. It would be nice if she does, but hope that she doesn't come with Bernice. If she comes with Bernice, I think I'll have a bad time with sleepover in case Bernice burns something down. So let's hope Bernice was not there with Pokra if that was the case. If I do invite her for sleepover, that's kind of about it. Trigger? I think it's safe to say Trigger is like best sleepover buddy. Honestly. So even though she is quote unquote blind, but to be honest, she is blind. But quote unquote blind because she can theoretically, like technically see in a way. But her personality wise and how she actually acts around people, I do think that's actually pretty good. And spending just quality time with her is actually pretty nice as well. I do think if we can get more of her friends with us, I think that'll be pretty nice too. I don't know. She just seems just a person who's just really safe to be around and just be chill when things are not so tense. I think Vivian, I would have put her in the 1 time, but it will be never again because it will be specifically for her never again because I'm not Pathan. I think that's exactly what's gonna be. She's never again because it's on her side and I'm not Pathan. That's about it. Hugo, huh? I'll decide for the 1 time. It really just depends. I don't trust Hugo, I'm sorry. It's pretty simple as that. Okay, Shifu. I would just like to call her Shifu. It's a bit more simpler to remember her name. I know a lot of people know how to say her name, but I just like to call her Shifu. I think if we can... I think I'll definitely think about it, honestly. Nothing really much to say. I think the only, negative qualm would actually be because she either doesn't feel like it or she doesn't have time. It will basically just be more based off of her own vibes. Pan? Come on, perfect best sleepover buddy. Bro is nice. Bro is calm. Bro is such a vibe, and he's a good cook. Bro, we're gonna be having a feast over in this sleepover. That's what I'm talking about. Chufufu, huh? I think so too. Chufufu has that energy. She is a bit high energy, but I think she knows how to control that high energy as well. Also, she has her mechanical buddy is a popcorn machine. So free popcorn, free buttered popcorn. I think that's a win-win, honestly. Not to mention that she's not that destructive in terms of how she wants to be fierce. And I do think that maybe having slight talks about like old movies would actually be pretty nice too. And it would be nice to hear like stories or legends that she actually heard about tiger tyrants as well. I think we'd have a pretty good time. Yusuha, huh? I think it will be the one time. I don't exactly hate her. I like her, but in terms of sleepover, listen, I don't like getting pranked, and I feel like she's the biggest prankster there's gonna be, so yeah, I just don't like being pranked, and there's always a risk of being pranked by her. Okay, Alice. I feel like it's actually going to be if we can get another, just to keep her in check, and to be honest, I think it will be with Yusuha. The only reason why is she does have the best sleeper buddy material, but she is slightly strict in some regards, and I don't think her shyness is really a problem. I think the biggest problem would just be symmetrical stuff, and if anything that's not symmetrical would be destroyed or edited, and to be honest, I would not like anything to be touched. I don't like any of my stuff being like touched or at least cut up to pieces just so it can be symmetrical. Because I have a system in this room of mine, possibly, which the system is actually pretty still neat and tidy. But I don't want anything to exactly change unless I know. It's kind of a paranoid type of thing. But no, I think that's kind of correct, honestly. Yeah, I can go with that. Seed. I think Seed's also, if we can get another. I like Seed, but this is Seed Junior. If she brings Seed Senior, I think they have slight problems because, you know, that's just kind of a middle robot at that point. A giant mecha suit. And, well, kind of hard to exactly understand what she actually is trying to say. I think I can get some pieces here and there, but I don't think I'll understand her fully. It would be better if we can get somebody who, you know, just maybe like tell me or tell us like what she's thinking, you know, sometimes, or what she means. Yeah. Dorothy. I think she's a best sleepover buddy. I just think it's maybe just because of Magnus is also being there. I don't mind Magnus, but I get the thing that Orphe might not be able to enjoy so much if Magnus is, you know, really just keeping a watch on her. Lucia. I think it's also if we can get another, and hopefully that other is not an ethereal. I do not want to get that risk. But then again, actually no, I think it'd be more safer if she does somehow bring an ethereal. I think bringing another person with us is like pretty good. At least a person who can deal with ethereals, just in case if something good does go wrong. Maybe if we can get another, it's more like if we can get like a whole squad with us, with her. So like it'll be just it's like a polyamorous sleepover in a normal friend type of way. Monato. I think it's pretty obvious, right? Ro can cook. He's nice. He is just have big brother energy. I think self-explanatory. Ihari. I do think it would if we're vibing. She does have that sleep problem for the most part. I don't know if it's actually fixed. I do remember that we had an event where we go into her dream/memories, I believe. And technically that was fixed. There was a reason why she was sleeping a lot. I don't know if it's actually fixed yet, or it's now just her habit that she actually sleeps a lot. But I feel like she is going to be one of the more fun ones because of her stories. Might be a little uncomfortable with her tentacles if she does doze off a bit. And I do think we might sleep early and might not have enough time to actually enjoy other activities. So yeah, I think it's mostly a girl vibing type of thing. Banwei. I think Banwei is also just a vibing thing. For the most part, he doesn't exactly know much about human customs. I'd like to show him the ropes for sleepovers though. It would be fun. But yeah. For the most part, I feel like he'll actually be pretty busy with his own stuff. And yeah. It would be more so on the lines if he is available. Yeah, I think that's my reason. Dylan. I do believe she'd be fun, but it's more so maybe just a one-time thing. I don't know how busy she's going to be, and for the most part, I feel like she'll just try to force me to make a reveal, or like a review, write a 5-star review on like how good she is on being a sleepover buddy. And I think it'll be like every time. So maybe it'll be like once in a blue moon, obviously. So like, yeah, I don't want to keep being under pressure on giving her feedback. I mean, feedback's nice, but not every single time. So yeah, maybe if like she could dial it down, but I'm not so sure. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Who's next on the list? Oh, Zhao. I like Zhao, but I get the feeling it might just be a one-time thing. I think she's also going to be pretty busy. And not to mention the fact that, well, to be her friend is really hard. So unless maybe we have a good reputation with the other members, I think it would just be more a one-time thing. But if somehow I got a whole sleepover with Krampus, maybe that will make it much more easier to invite her. Maybe, but I feel like, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be exactly good friends. Honestly, yeah. I don't think we'll be too good of friends to actually invite so many times. So yeah, getting her dressed is the hardest part. Okay. Yeah, next one is Yi. To be honest, I think Yi will actually be best sleepover buddy material. More so for the exact same reasons as Pan. But maybe for more the exact reasons like Pan as to why she's up here. But she has the extra perk of basically wanting to like share stories and all that. I think that'll be nice and share each other's experiences. I just really hope. I think it'll be the downside of her being here is what it might be the possibility that she might actually lose her memories about it, which would be pretty sad. Yeah. But I think she'll still be a pretty, like, one of the best sleepover buddies in general. Okay, the next one is Suna. I think Suna would actually be. I'll definitely think about it. Because I think the only one thing is that she is mostly in her character traits is that she's a pretty big introvert. She doesn't seem like it in terms of the story and stuff, but I think originally she was. It's just the help of her friends, she become more open. I'll definitely think about it as I think she wants to have a good time and she wants to try it out, possibly, but just being by herself might actually be a bit scary, but she wants to try to do it anyway. I think. That's what I believe, though. To be honest, I could just put Suna back. Put her into if we can get another, because most likely I don't think she wants to go for a sleepover alone, possibly. But I think the amount of fun we could possibly have during the sleepover might actually be pretty nice. Let's see, with Suna there, we have Arya, and I think Arya would already be the best sleepover buddy. Let me see, does that actually fit? No. Guess we'll put it something like this. Yeah. The only reason why I think Arya is best sleepover buddy is just because she has the same qualities as like Suna, but not overwhelmingly anxious, and of course she has a pretty good singing voice, so karaoke is on board this, I think it's just obvious that we'll have a good amount of fun with her, Next one is like Nangguang. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. I think Nangguang, for me personally, I think if we can get another, her personality is a bit almost similar to Yuzuha, just not too much of the prank side, but she teases a lot. I don't exactly like getting teased all that much, so I understand how Suna feels, but I think she'll still be pretty fun. I just think maybe if we bring another person along, maybe if we just have like all of the Angels of Delusion together, I think we'll have a pretty good time. But I think that's where I rank those three. Sorry if Nangguang is not like best sleepover buddy. Maybe for you, but for me, maybe not. It's not exactly, honestly. You know what? I'll put her up to I definitely think about it, because I do think at least for the teasing, if she can bring it to a minimum, I think it will be pretty fine, pretty chill if for sleepover. Who's next? Cecilia. It's kind of hard to say. I think I'll put her in I'll definitely think about it. And the main reason why, well, the thing is, if you are nice to her enough, she will stay with you. And I think this is more so as a freeloader. And if she likes you and your place, she would stay there. She'll crash by like every once in a while. So basically, it's technically like a good sleepover if you really want to think about it. So if you really like Cecilia, I guess that's one thing, but also she eats a lot, so mostly she'll eat all your eggs. I think that's just something you have to think about. I do think that she actually be a pretty good sleepover buddy. I don't know exactly about her roommate though, so maybe they'll knock her down just a tiny bit. Maybe that's why we might get another person just to keep her in check, possibly. I don't know. Yeah, the more I think about it, maybe we'll put her over here. Yeah. I don't know if I don't know if I want her to stay, like as a byproduct of the sleepover. I think that's the thing. And keep her in check, maybe. Ponya, mostly just reviving. she could just be busy or she doesn't really like feel like it. But I think if she's in like the mood of want to like trying with going to a sleepover, maybe. I feel like it might be better if we have somebody else with us, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell for her, but I feel like if she's willing to, then yeah. So I feel like that would be good for the reviving category. Pyrosis. I hope I said the name right. Technically, I'll count. Technically, the Faithins, Bell and Wise are also kind of lumped together with him. Actually, no, Bell and Wise are basically about the same. I feel like. I think Bell and Wise and Pyrosis would actually be, I'll definitely think about it. I think like Bell specifically would actually be the best. Like Sleepover Buddy and Wise can be up there too. I think Pyrosis is just a person who kind of just aura farms and a bit too stoic. So might not actually get enough stuff from him. But if we can get Bell and Wise, I definitely see that if all three can come by, that'll be pretty good. If Bell and Wise are actually separated into like the character slots that they should be in this tier list that I have here, yeah, I think that'd be pretty nice. But right now, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just because of Pyrosis himself. I don't think it'll be that high. I think if it was just Pyrosis by himself, it will be in the iffy vibing or just the one time only. Yeah, I believe so. We have S rank Billy, Starlight Billy. It's still the same Billy. He will still be up here, so let's not put him up there. Sorry. Okay. I'm just getting a little tired right now. What's Velima? No, that's not how you say her name. I know it starts with a V. Jesus. Okay. If anything, realistically for her, I know her personality enough. And with her, it's most likely just the one time only. Just like with Zhao, it is a matter of getting her trust, and to be honest, it's much more harder. I don't think any one of us could get her to come over or sleep over, unless of course maybe we invite like Norma. Maybe. Speaking of which, I don't think that Norma is a bad buddy, but I do think that we might need to get another because she's technically a workaholic if you really want to look at it. And maybe she just wants to keep like experimenting and fixing on Bamboo and stuff like that. So, you know, I think like we might need like Velima to just keep her in check possibly if we actually do go in that direction. Yeah. Okay, who's next? Oh, Ramiel. I think Ramiel is like in the same boat as with like Nangguang. It's just that she doesn't exactly have anyone else that could actually keep her in technical check and stuff like that. Also, Ramiel is a bit cryptic, but at least in my opinion, she teases a lot too, and not the kind that I can tolerate. So I guess it depends on you. I do think if we can get another person, kind of just might have balanced things out, honestly. Yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah, I think that's most correct. Right? Sigrid. I think Sigrid would definitely. I'll think about it. It will mostly just come down to her duties, and honestly, I think she's not too. I don't think she's like. Distant through like other people I think she knows. I think she understands what a sleepover is, and I do believe that she will adapt to it pretty easily. Yeah, it's mostly just if like she's busy or not. In all honesty, yeah, it's mostly work. Again, it's just a work. It's a pattern. Now you might see two characters that already popped up onto the list. They're not the placements currently. However, we only have limited information of the personalities for one of them. And another, however, since because they're both relatively new and don't have enough screen time for me to memorize their name, I don't remember their names. I do remember who they specifically are technically by a character design, and one of them did show up, and it's the blonde one. Unfortunately, I just don't remember their names, so forgive me about that. But in terms of what I know for now, I think for you, it's really just much if we're vibing. Even to her personality, she's a bit. She's just not. She is technically hot-headed, but pretty much prideful would be the correct way of putting it, right? Of course, later on, she kind of has the tsundere archetype with her, so I don't mind that, but like in terms of a sleepover setting, it's not exactly the best, honestly. I would say get another, but I don't think she would be the person who will be very interested. The more I think about it, maybe it would just be the one time actually. She just belongs to where she was, so I put her already. Now, for this one, we don't know much about this character at all, except for maybe some rumored background that we know from the drip marketing and stuff. Based on her design alone, it's really hard to tell, but based on her design alone, I feel like maybe if we can get another. She seems like a person that maybe be okay, but I feel like she might have something on her mind. At least that's what I'm getting at. So maybe having another person to keep her in check might be a pretty good idea. Yeah. Okay, this is basically the list of all characters. We have every single one of them, not including copies. They're on the list. Now just give me at least 1 second for you guys and maybe a minute for me, and I'll change the positions through like maybe the best person to maybe the quote-unquote worst person of each category. So let me just think how I should put this right now. Yeah, I believe this is gonna be the final list. Yeah. So we'll go over again. People on the top is definitely the best sleepover buddy, and I do believe from Billy to Jufufu. Yeah, every character in between. I think they'd be pretty good buddies just because they don't exactly have many flaws, or at least their flaws are like minor at best. You know, so like you can just tolerate the problem because you know it's never going to be affecting the actual like sleepover night. Now, I'll definitely think about it. We have Ben Baker on the top, of course, and then we have Anton at the bottom. Again, I do believe just because Anton's personality is a bit much, actually, to be honest, the more I think about it. I think the range for it is a bit weird. I think Coletta should just be a slightly, I think just be right here. They're both technically in the same type of energetic spirit, so I think maybe these two being like on the lower end of this list might actually make a bit more sense, at least for me. Again, this is all just because for me, and I'm asking the question if they could be my sleepover buddy. Why sleeping buddy? I think I am still tired. Jesus. Okay. Right. But yeah, I feel like this should be good enough, honestly. Now, let's see. If we can get another, I think for the most part, if we get another, is like the most likely to least likely to get a partner. So like at least a 3 or 4 person sleepover party. And I think that should be a good enough list, honestly. If we vibing has not changed really, except I put Yihari a bit higher. Wait a minute. Yeah, yeah, I think that's good. Bonway has to be a bit more higher. But I feel like, he's a bit more willing than the others. Just only still fighting stuff if he's not busy. And I think Pomia's got to be the hardest one. A bit similar to Bonway in terms of maybe like thought process, at least for me. But a bit more harder since getting her trust is the biggest issue. One time only, I moved a tiny bit, and I believe this is about it. The one time only is just literally like maybe once in every blue moon, or like maybe once a year that, or literally just the one time only. But I think the one time only would actually be Hugo, like just one time and that's it. To be honest, I can see why Lycon doesn't exactly like him, honestly. Vivian is never again. There's no chance Vivian will ever like go on a sleepover with any of us. And that's like, besides like me, like anybody else, no. It's like as long as Faithin is like, if you're not Faithin, she's not going to do it, honestly. Have you seen how she really likes to be with Faithin and when he talks about Faithin? I guess technically speaking, if you want to talk about Faithin during the sleepover, I guess she would be willing to maybe participate in that sleepover, but the problem with that is pretty simple. If you say one bad thing about it, I think she'll basically, stab you. I feel like maybe that's the one thing. She'll just be angry with you and then you might die. So yeah. But yeah, that's basically the list, and this is where I think every playable character should go. Yeah. We're going to have a sleepover. And which one is the best sleeping buddy? Sleepover buddy. My brain processes like words, but my mouth says too fast, basically. The best sleepover buddy is basically Billy. I think that's no question. I don't think there's any question to that. Billy is the best sleepover buddy. I do believe that. But yeah, again, this is all just my opinion, right? And this is just all how I feel with these characters if I ever invite them to a sleepover. Or maybe the vice versa. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's about it. What do you guys think? And who do you think is your best sleepover buddy? My name's Sampo. I'll see you guys next time. It could be another random video like this. And Jesus, this is too long, isn't it?